Hello everyone, this wasn't just a camping trip. It was a replay of a night I should have forgotten. But that place never forget. Pushpin, if you enjoy original and chilling stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for free. Your support is crucial for me to reach 500 subscribers. Now, put on your headphones and listen closely, because this camping story is unlike any other. A friend recommended the Ashridge campgrounds. No signal, no map location, no people. Pure isolation. The first night went quietly. But around 4 a.m., a red light appeared outside my tent. I assumed it was someone's lantern. But the glow didn't move. And there wasn't a single sound. The next day, I went exploring. A few hundred meters from my camp, I found a moss-covered stone wall. On it, a carved face, a grotesque grin, with hollow eyes. Despite the chilly air, the stone felt hot. The moment I touched it, I shivered. That grin. It felt like it knew me. Night returned. And from somewhere between the trees came breathing sounds. Not the wind. Not an animal. It sounded like someone forcing air through lungs, wet and desperate. I peeked out of my tent. Nothing was there. But the sound moved closer. Right beside the tent wall. Then silence. And a finger traced a circle on the fabric. In the morning, I walked down to the lake. But the reflection on the water wasn't mine. I stood straight, but my reflection tilted its head slightly. And it smiled. I stepped back. The reflection stayed still. It felt like another version of me, waiting to crawl out of the water. Around midnight, I sat by the campfire. I heard a scream in the distance. A man's voice. Then immediately, a woman's. But the screams didn't alternate. They overlapped. Same pain, two different throats. They echoed through my head, like they were screaming inside me. And then silence. I didn't feel alone anymore. In fact, I felt the presence of many. Watching. At dawn, I packed my gear. I didn't want to stay anymore. I followed the trail. But it led me right back to my camp. Second try, I chose a different path. Again, back to the same spot. Third time, my GPS started working. I felt hope. But the screen read, "Location U." I spent the last night without a fire. Each passing hour, I heard a whisper right next to my ear. First, 4. Then, 3. Time ticked away. 2. 1. And then, nothing. But I'm still here. And I know something is still waiting with me. Sometimes, the forest doesn't want you to leave, and it makes sure you don't. If you enjoy original and terrifying stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support is incredibly valuable to help me reach 500 subscribers. Now grab your headphones, turn off the lights, and listen closely, because this island story isn't just different, it's cursed. There's a lake deep in Ontario that doesn't appear on any map. Locals call it the Silent Mirror. In the middle of it, a small island, unnamed, untouched, unknown. Mark found it in a weird hiking forum, posted by someone named Just One Left. They wrote only one sentence. "If you hear the second splash, you've stayed too long." We should have listened. But we didn't. We kayaked out just before sunset. The island was quiet. Too quiet. No birds. No bugs. Not even the wind moved the trees. The moment we stepped on land, our phones lost signal, like something cut us off. Mark smiled. I didn't. Something felt wrong, like the island was holding its breath. 1:13 a.m. I heard water move. A splash. Far off, near the shore. 5 minutes later, another splash. Same rhythm. Same sound. I tried to wake Mark. He just mumbled and rolled over. I stayed awake, counting seconds. But a third splash never came. Next morning, Mark went off exploring. When he came back, he looked pale, eyes wide. He whispered, "The roots, they're growing up, not down." We walked into the trees. He showed me. The roots had burst through the ground, twisting, spiraling, forming words. Over and over. One word. Stay. That night I had a dream. I was drowning. Something pulled at my legs. When I woke up, there were red scratches on my ankles. I thought it was a rash, until Mark lifted his pant leg. Same marks. Same shape. Like claws. Then we saw the symbol. Scratched into our tent. But we had no knife. 1:13 a.m. again. Splash. I froze. 1:18. Another splash. We both sat up. Watching. Listening. 1:23. A third splash. But this time. Closer. By the shore. We ran outside. Saw water dripping. And on the ground, wet footprints. Human. Bare. But only one set. Mark followed the prints into the trees. I begged him not to. He didn't listen. 10 minutes passed. No sound. No flashlight. Then, I heard his voice. But it was coming from behind me. He went north. The voice came from the south. It called my name. Over and over. But each time, it sounded less like him. I stayed up all night. No sleep. No Mark. No way off. When the sun rose, I went to the shore. The kayak was gone. No drag marks. No trail. Just water. I searched the island. The trees were in different places, like they had moved while I slept. Then I found a note in my bag. Wet. Smudged. If you hear the third splash, don't move. If you hear a fourth, you already belong. Last night, I heard it. Splash. Then another. And another. Then, the fourth. Right beside my tent. Something dragged its fingers across the fabric. Wet. Slow. Deliberate. Then, a whisper. Your turn. I don't think I'll ever leave this island. Because now, I'm waiting to hear the fifth splash. It wasn't the storm that scared us. It was what the storm brought with it. If you enjoy immersive horror stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me reach 500 subscribers. Now put on your headphones. Take a deep breath. And listen carefully. Because what we found in the mountains that night wasn't supposed to exist. We were 4 hikers. Me, Cass, Jonah, and Devin. We planned a simple weekend trip. 3 days in the Cloudthorn Mountains. No cell service. No civilization. Halfway up the ridge, we found a sign buried in moss. Property of NOAA, Weather Monitoring Station 11B, do not enter. We didn't think much of it. Just another rusty old shack in the woods. But as the sky started turning gray, We realized it might be our only shelter. The door creaked open like it had been waiting. Inside, dust, rotting bunk beds, and a wall of broken weather instruments. But there was food. Canned, clean, unexpired. And on the table, a guest log, handwritten. The last entry read, "Storm incoming. 4 hikers expected. Prepare room 2. That's when Jonah laughed. Wow, they predicted us too? We didn't laugh. That night, thunder rolled in. The storm was brutal. Winds howling like voices. We sat in the common room, wrapped in blankets, listening to the shortwave radio crackle. Then, through the static, a sound. Breathing. Not ours. Not human. It was slow. Wet. Rasping. Cass turned off the radio. The sound didn't stop. The station had 6 rooms. Only one door was locked. Room 2. We assumed it was for storage. Until 3:21 a.m. The door unlocked itself. Click. We stared at it. Inside, it was empty. Except for a bed. And on the bed, someone had drawn us. 4 stick figures. Our initials underneath. But the weirdest part? One of the figures was crossed out. Next morning, Cass was gone. No footprints. No note. Just her boots, neatly placed by the door. We searched the area. Devin found a camera under the bunk. Not ours. We played the footage. Flickering. Out of focus. But we saw something. Cass standing in the woods, frozen, eyes wide. Behind her, a tall figure, wearing a Noah jacket. But its face was blurred out, like the lens refused to capture it. Suddenly, I saw something moving in the shadows. A fox. But it wasn't like any fox I had ever seen. It was standing on 2 legs, watching me. Its eyes were glowing. Empty. Dead. I felt a cold hand grip my chest, pulling the air out of my lungs. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. The fox started walking toward me, its claws scraping against the stones as it approached. We tried to leave, but the trail was gone. Literally. The forest had shifted. The trees weren't where we left them. Like someone reprogrammed the map. Back inside, the weather monitor turned on by itself. Its screen glitched. Then displayed 2 remaining. Replacement needed. We unplugged it. Smashed it. Still, the screen stayed on. That night, I heard Jonah talking to someone. I stepped into the hallway. No one there. His voice came from room 2. But when I opened the door, room 2 was gone. In its place, an endless hallway. Flickering lights. Cold metal walls. At the far end I saw him. Standing. Facing the wall. Repeating. I calibrate. I observe. I calibrate. I observe. Then, he stopped. Turned his head. But he had no eyes. Devin wanted to burn the place down. I agreed. We poured fuel. Lit the match. But the flames didn't spread. Instead, the radio turned on again. And it spoke in our voices. Fragments of our conversations. Sliced together. Artificial. Mocking. You'll never leave, Devin. Not until you replace the observer. He ran. Right into the woods. I haven't seen him since. Now it's just me. The power is back. The equipment works. The system is ready. I found a note in Jonah's handwriting. If the system accepts you, you get to leave. Someone else stays. I finally understand. This place doesn't predict the weather. It collects people. Every storm, it swaps someone in. I just heard a knock on the cabin door. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the next one. They called it the Silent Trail, because no one who walked through it ever screamed. Not even once. If you enjoy chilling stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for free. Your support means everything as I work toward reaching 500 subscribers. Now lean back, put on your headphones, and listen closely, because the silence you're about to hear wasn't natural. We arrived as the sun was going down. Me, my cousin Briar, her boyfriend Lance, and our friend Kenzie. Splitwood Camp was ancient. No cell reception, no staff. Just a wide clearing and a trail twisting into the pines. Locals warned us not to go near that trail. They called it the Soundless Path, a place where even the wind seemed to give up. We laughed it off. I wish we hadn't. I noticed it the first night. No birds. No insects. Not even the sound of leaves underfoot. It was like the world had been muted. When we spoke, our voices echoed strangely, like they were bouncing inside fog. Kenzie said it was just the altitude, but something in that trail made the hair on my arms rise. I was being watched, and whatever it was, never blinked. Deeper in the woods, we found a tent, slashed from the inside, covered in moss, yet somehow bone dry. Lance found an old tape recorder inside. We played it. A man's voice. Day 6. No exit. I screamed for help. Now even my thoughts are quiet. If you're hearing this, leave before it learns your name. Then, a final whisper. I'm not alone here. That night, we slept in shifts. 3:33 a.m. I woke up. I was alone. Briar's sleeping bag was cold. Her boots were gone. We searched until sunrise. No footprints. No broken branches. Just her necklace, hanging from a tree, swinging in a breeze we couldn't feel. Kenzie tried to yell. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. She screamed, but it was silent. We followed the trail. It opened into a grove lined with wooden stakes. Each one had a name carved into it. We found Briar's. And mine. Why is your name here? Kenzie asked. I didn't know. But something deep inside me felt etched. That's when I heard it. A whisper, not in our ears, but in our minds. One stays. One speaks. The stakes began to tremble. Kenzie ran. I followed. The trees seemed to move around us. No matter which way we turned, we always came back to the same clearing. Then I heard her voice. Not behind me. In front of me. Calling my name. Clear and perfect. But it wasn't Kenzie. The voice repeated. And again. It was learning to sound human. I found Kenzie slumped against a tree. She was shaking. Eyes wide open. Mouth frozen. But not a single sound. Not even a breath. She slowly turned toward me. Tears streamed from her eyes. With her lips, she silently mouthed, "Don't say its name." Then she collapsed. From her mouth, a pale mist drifted upward and into the trees, and the forest swallowed her. I don't know how I got out. I just woke up by the campfire. Alone. But I could speak again. My voice had returned. My phone, dead for days, powered on by itself. Only one app was open. The voice recorder. Now I'm telling you this story because the whisper said, "One stays. One speaks." It gave me this duty to warn you. If you ever hear your name called out, don't answer.